Are FC Barcelona on the verge of a crisis, or they are already facing a crisis which not many of us can see? A lot more in today's video, so stick around till the end if you want to know what kind of difficult situations and crisis are Barcelona facing, and we'll talk about more of that, who is to blame and what can Barcelona really do about that. Hello and welcome to the Football Talk Exchange. I am your host Shubham Thakkar, and today we will be talking about an impending crisis or an existing crisis at FC Barcelona that not many of us can see. And I know you are probably wondering what kind of crisis are FC Barcelona really facing. They are on top of the La Liga table as always. They are doing well in the Champions League, and for a change they have not done well in the Copa del Rey, but they are doing really well as a club. Everything is going great. Messi is in top form. Players are back from injury. So what is the crisis that FC Barcelona are facing? Let's get straight into it. So first off, I understand things look good on the surface for FC Barcelona, but if you do a bit of research, you look deeper into the club, you will know that there are cracks that they're trying to cover, but it's not possible to cover such cracks that, again, if you look into the club, you do a bit of research, you read some articles, you will understand what kind of crisis it is. First off, this whole story, I'll take you back to 2014. In 2014, the presidential election for Barcelona was held. And who was appointed the president? Josep Maria Bartomeu. We all know he is still the president right now. And the next presidential election for FC Barcelona will be in the summer of 2021. So 2014, Bartomeu becomes the president of FC Barcelona. 2015, Pep Boada is appointed the scouting head of the club. Ever since then, Barcelona have spent £232 million on players that have left the club eventually for a combined £217 million. So you are already facing a 15 million loss on the players that you sold. But guess what? There's more to it. These 10 players have on an average played about 37 games only. So they've played less than worth a season of games, and Barcelona have paid their wages obviously. They've also had to sell them. This just shows what kind of recruitment is going on at FC Barcelona. Who these players are? I could give you a couple of examples. Firstly, it would be Arda Turan. Paulinho would be an example. Malcolm, the Brazilian winger that Barcelona signed, I think 2 summers ago. Kevin Prince Boateng would be a very good example and quite a recent one. So Arturo Vidal, obviously he's still at the club, but again he's a very old player. So let's talk about the bigger signings. Coutinho, Dembele, Antoine Griezmann. All these players, it's safe to say, have not done very well at the club, and Barcelona have more often than not had to rely on their old guard such as Suarez, Messi, Sergio Busquets and Jordi Alba, obviously alongside a fairly younger Marc-Andre Ter Stegen. So the key players that we're talking about, Busquets, Sergio Busquets, Luis Suarez, Lionel Messi, Jordi Alba and even Gerard Piqué, I'm sorry I forgot to mention him. All these players are nearing the twilight of their careers. Now I know Messi is in top form and it doesn't look like he's aging, but let's face it, he's going to be 33 in the summer, June or July, I don't remember exactly. 11 of Barcelona's players are above the age of 29, and these are all key players. I think Marc-Andre Ter Stegen is around 28, 29. Gerard Piqué is 32, I guess, 31 or 32. Sergio Busquets, we all know, is very old as well, I think 33 or 34. Lionel Messi is going to be 33. Luis Suarez is about 33, sorry. So all these key players for FC Barcelona are aging, and the younger players that Barcelona have brought in, have purchased, are not doing well, like Dembele, like Coutinho, like Griezmann. Griezmann again, when he was signed for £108 million, he was 28 years old. Barcelona could have gone for a younger player at that time again. I mean, there were options. They could have gone for a younger player, maybe Lautaro Martinez last summer, or Neymar, or I mean someone who was younger, who had a longer future at the club. So Griezmann 108 million pounds, Dembele about 100 million pounds, Coutinho over 100 million pounds. So Barcelona have spent over 300, close to 320, 330 million pounds on players that have not performed up to their capabilities and have clearly not justified the price tag. Let's talk about the La Masia now. La Masia, the only 2 or 3 big stories about the La Masia have been, firstly, Ansu Fati breaking into the first team this season, and Victor Valdez being appointed coach and being sacked after 90 days only. The only 2 La Masia graduates that Barcelona have in the first team right now are Sergi Roberto and Ansu Fati, who is just broken into the first team this season. Let's talk about their main rivals, Real Madrid. You've got Valverde, who's into the first team, Dani Carvajal, who's also a academy graduate. Then you look at players like Vinicius Junior, they bought in, Asensio, they bought in, alright. Carvajal, Valverde, Mariano Diaz is also an academy graduate. So there is players who are still contesting for first team spots. Martin Odegaard, yeah, I forgot to mention him. Martin Odegaard, we know he's doing very well at Real Sociedad, and he could break into the first team at Real Madrid this summer or potentially even next summer. So Real Madrid in that aspect are doing quite well. Just a second. Barcelona are also, if you see, they are reluctant to give their younger players a chance because they fear that they might lose out on the title one year or the Champions League for that year. They need to take risks, and I think that giving younger players like Carlos Alenya, Sergi Samper earlier, Junior Firpo would have been, Junior Firpo recently obviously, would have been better, and it's worth the risk of not winning a title for 1 year. It's also up to the fans that they are very demanding. They want the club to win every year possible some big trophy, La Liga or the Champions League. They want the club to win it every year possible. But they do need to understand it's not possible that you win every year a major trophy. Junior Firpo, again, a young player with a lot of talent and lot of what I want to say, potential, yeah, a lot of potential. So he apparently is going to be involved by Barcelona as a part of the Lautaro Martinez deal, with 90 million plus Junior Firpo being offered for Lautaro Martinez. Again, you're trading a younger player who has a lot of potential, who could be the long-term replacement to Jordi Alba. You're selling him, so I think that's not done. Secondly, let's come to the wages. The taxes in Spain are very high, and players do get paid over the odds in Spain. So 83%, yes, 83% of Barcelona's total expenditure for the entire year is on player wages. That is too high an amount. I mean, other clubs would be spending around 30%, 25 to 35, 40% of their total expenditure on the player wages. Barcelona are spending 83%, that's 5 out of 6. So if you got 600 million, 500 million is on player wages. That is too high. And obviously, now that the coronavirus has hit the football world, revenues for all clubs are dropping. Fans are not shopping the merchandise. Fans obviously cannot attend the games. So revenue is dropping. And Barcelona, the board has instructed players to take a 70% pay cut. Do you think this is justified? Let me know in the comment section down below. Obviously, players were not very happy with this. It went as far as Lionel Messi lashing out at the club on social media. So I mean, when a player as peaceful or as calm and composed as Lionel Messi lashes out and is angry with the club on social media, expresses it publicly, you really need to think how bad things are at your club, at a favorite club. Next, let's come to what happened from last summer. Last summer, Barcelona were strongly linked to bring in Neymar back to the club before Griezmann was eventually signed. So it went haywire to a great extent. Players were, it was out in the public that players like Rakitic, even Dembele, and another player, I think it was Samuel Umtiti, all these three were clearly mentioned, strongly mentioned in the media repeatedly that these players would be the one Barcelona would give to PSG in exchange for Neymar. Obviously the deal did not go through, and what happens next is these three players, it develops a sense of mistrust among the board for them and for them among the board, for the board. So they do not feel that the board will really have their back, and it sort of affects you mentally and eventually your performance on the pitch. Let's come to Ernesto Valverde, the manager that Barcelona sacked in I think January or December. So obviously we know that they bottled in the Champions League against Roma last season and Liverpool last season. Both away games, both these games the club could have done much better. I spoke to a Barcelona fan and he said that the reason for sacking Valverde was that they were not clearly doing it correctly in the Champions League. Well, so why did you not sack him in the summer? Why did you have to take things into the summer, into the season, sorry, and it just messed up around with the season. The reason for keeping Ernesto Valverde apparently was to attract Neymar to the club. That did not work out obviously. Valverde continued into the season, and what Eric Abidal, the sporting director at Barcelona, has said that they were not looking at results, they were looking at performances. Well, performances were not good this season, they were not good last season as well. You could clearly see it on the pitch. Why did you not sack him in the summer is my big question. Do you think Valverde should have been sacked in the summer? Do let me know again in the comment section. And next up, we are also going to talk about Mundo Deportivo and AS as well. Both these credible, extremely credible newspapers in Spain reporting that there was a lot of infighting going on within the club. So apparently, I'm not too sure about this, I read it only yesterday, that on one side were pro Valverde players and on the other side were players who were happy, who were glad that Valverde got sacked. One sect was Messi and Suarez, Gerard Piqué leading the anti-Valverde segment. And when such key players are involved in infighting, it really goes to show that the manager, the board, do not have control over the dressing room, and the dressing room is a mess. Let's talk about the board of directors right now. In April or March, I think, 6 of Barcelona's board directors resigned from the club. So Barcelona board has 19 members, 6 of them resigned. Now as per their articles or the articles of association or whatever the club has, the statutory laws the club has, there must be 14 members in the board of directors. There can never be less than that. This happened in April when 6 of them resigned. Again, it's a very big crisis that a lot of us cannot see. When a third of your board resigns, it really goes on to show that things are not going very well at the club. And it really, I thought that it really needs to be put out to the Barcelona fans to understand what their club is going through. Yeah, so I think that is it from today's video. If you did enjoy watching, let me know by leaving a like and do let me know your thoughts about this video and Barcelona, the club as a whole, in the comment section down below. Again, if you did enjoy watching this one, and if you are new to the channel, do subscribe. I'll be doing more such videos, and on a lot of days I'll be putting out 2 videos every day. So click on the notifications bell as well so you don't miss out on any of my latest videos. Secondly, if you do know any Barcelona fans, do share this video with them and let them know what is going on inside their club. Thank you for watching. Stay home, stay safe.